Even when you think you're an expert, there's opportunities to learn stuff. And today we have a great thing. Now, I pretty much think I'm an expert in certain areas, but there's people that are better than me. And one of them is our guest today. So why don't you introduce him?
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome? Oh, I'm excited. I'm super excited about it. There's never been a more prepared guest in the history of Dan Jourdan Live than this man. We're going to get into it with him, but he has a storied history and a continued excellence in selling a virtual video. Would you please welcome, in layman's terms, Mr. Doug Lehman? What's up, sir?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
We're living the dream. We're living the dream.
We're about to get energized here with the Deej,
yes,
man.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Look at Lehman in layman's terms. Hey, let me tell you something about Doug Lehman. When I first met him was about probably 10 years ago. Right, Doug?
About a decade, yeah. 10 years.
And Doug knows everybody. He's a big hotshot. He does book reviews for big name guys. He does the thing Outbound. He's the announcer for Outbound, which is a great sales conference here in Atlanta. Who are the big names on there that you know? Just do a little name dropping.
Jeb Blunt, Mike Weinberg, Victor Antonio, Anthony Iarino, James Muir, Larry Levine. We can't forget about the ladies in Colleen Francis, Bernadette McClellan. It's a cast of characters.
He knows them all. I mean, if you know Doug Lehman, you know you've made it. And so we're just proud to have you here on the.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be on this show because I've looked at the people you've had on before. I've done my homework. You know, Deb Cancro, Jeff Sheehan, Richard Booty, Tom Nixon, Jerry Vereen, Vanessa Martinez, and these two young dynamic YouTube sensations, Ben and Brian. I mean, and Kevin Foster and Beth Miller. Yes, I'm an esteemed group of people here on. Let's get energized. Come on, Dan.
He's got himself familiar with the catalog, Dan.
Yeah, I know. That's good. You see, there's professionalism. The guy if you want to get anywhere in life, butter me up. I mean, that's exactly what you have to do.
100% true.
I lay it out for you to play it out.
So Doug Lehman, you have been, I kind of learned from you on, I learned something a while ago is that you could give a lot of sales pitches, and that's what I kind of do. I like talking to people.
Right.
So I do a lot of cold calling, and I like that. Nothing makes me more excited than taking a complete stranger, and turning them into a customer. I don't care how big. It could be a dollar item, or it could be $1,000 or $10,000. It's all the same thing for me. But I'm doing it. It takes a lot of energy to do all that stuff. You taught me that you can make a good video, and that video can sell for you over and over and over again while I'm sleeping. So I want to thank you for teaching me. I want you to tell everybody else how they can do that too.
Well, what you're talking about is having that content out there to keep selling for you, because if you do a good video, your video doesn't have an off day. The video works 24/7. Imagine your sales force working 24/7. Now, in the world of AI and all that, it probably can, but being able to show your story, have it engaging and personalizing the element with some humor. It's all about personalization and having some fun with it, being able to reach out to your clients. But it takes research. You know how it is, Dan. You got to know your prospects before you even go in and call, but you've got to bring value. And video is a great way to break down walls, break down those communications, because they can see you and they get a sense to know you.
Well, so how do they do that? I mean, let's say you want to start one, because it makes too much sense not for everybody to be doing it, but everybody's not doing it. So what's holding them back?
I don't know if it's fear of being on camera, fear of doing video. It's not fear of missing out, because everybody's doing video right now. It's not an anomaly anymore. Video is, if you're not doing video, you're missing out. But just leveraging the tools. I mean, on your cell phone, you're already a video producer. You just hit the record button and you go. You use tools like LinkedIn, Twitter, which you do, video email platforms that are free. There's a lot of things out there that you can do. There's great tools. You know, see me, ask you. We can help you out. But you just got to spend the time. You know how to learn video? Go to YouTube and watch tutorials on how to do video. Social watch.
Yeah, but more importantly, how do you sell with video? I mean, you're more successful than that than anyone I know. Do you use it? How do you distribute it? Do you just email it out, or what's your frame of reference?
Great question, and I'm not going to make it too. I'm going to put it in layman's terms. It's all about how do you use the video in different touch points. If I'm doing a cold call video or message, yeah, I may use it on LinkedIn if I'm connected, or I may do it via email. If I'm doing a follow-up email, I want you to think about the mindset of using video just like a communication tool. After a call, sales call, do a follow-up video. Maybe you haven't interacted with somebody in 60 days, or you're sending a video, a proposal for your services. Video should be the same tool as text, email, voice, smoke signals, whatever you use. Video should be a communication tool. So think about that mindset. You should do video almost everywhere. So I'm not trying to be all like Pollyanna with video everywhere, but just have a concept of how do you want to connect with people. And some people don't want video. Yep. And you can tag team on that. Audio messaging on LinkedIn. Example, you can pick up the phone, do an audio. What I like to do is I hit them with the audio and I say, yeah, by the way, at the end of this audio, there's a video down below. It's personalized for you. You tee them up.
That's good. I didn't even know that LinkedIn had an audio. I know Twitter does have an audio, but it's slowly rolling out to users. So anyone on LinkedIn can do an audio.
Audio, and it's simple. It's just push the button, hit the microphone, and talk. I've been doing that because you got to get people to watch the video. That's part of the thing. Okay, so you got a video, and it used to be great 5-10 years ago. Oh, I got a video. That's new. That's neat. Now everybody's doing video. Random acts of video. So it's got to up it. But Dan, to answer your question,
produced?
I'm going to get to that. Stay with my flow here. different types of video for different types of generation, different touch points. So yes, you can produce it or you can do your own video, real and authentic. So the answer is it depends.
So you're saying that if I just send, a link, they're less likely to click on that now than they were, let's say, 5 years ago. But if you tee them up somehow, and what are some other ways aside from that voice thing that you did? Are thumbnails effective, or how do you get them to?
Thumbnails are effective, but here's an idea: pick up the phone and call them and say, "By the way, I just sent you an email in the subject line, and it just said video."
Ooh.
You said the magic words, Doug. Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone.
What I'm trying to get you to think about is multi-touch points. Video is a component for text. It's a component for audio. They all play nice together. We're doing video right now, but this is going to be streamed in audio format. So
yeah, but what if there are people that aren't nearly as good looking as us? Would we have to do this naked?
Oh, that's even easier at times. You don't have to be in the video to do the video. If you're, give me a real-time example. If
you don't have to be in the video to do the video?
Follow me. If you're a realtor, let's say you're trying to sell a property and you got an idea, you want to show them this house, this residential property, whatever it is. You turn the camera around, you film the property, and you use your voice for narration. You still got a visual element. In other words, leverage video to its purpose. Have somebody else do the video on your behalf. Animated character. I got a staff that's an animated character. We all know about Virtual Vonda. I hope you bring her into the call later.
Oh, Virtual Vonda? Well, yeah. Is she? That's how I first met you. He sent me a LinkedIn photo of something, and he said, I wanted to introduce myself, but he's like, I don't like. What did he say? It's not good for me to talk how great I am, so I let other people do it for me. And then he sent me a video with this virtual. I could not stop watching it. I had to watch the whole thing. There she is. Good old Virtual Vonda.
Of course, I have to have her covering. I mean, I have to have the most beautiful part of the live stream in front of my face. That's right. That's the way this works. So for those of you who are already following Doug, and I know a lot of people already do, they know who Virtual Vonda is. And I do think it's an original take on a lot of things. But we're going to get to Vonda. I do have a question for you, Doug. Okay. And we're going all over the place, but I'd like to know. So this whole space, video, it moves so quickly. And especially now and what's going on in these past couple of months, everyone is jumping on and everyone is doing, and everyone's got a phone in their pocket that has a video, and everyone's jumping on, and there's live video, and then there's produced video, and then there's all kinds of new things that are launching. When you work with a number of the clients that you work with, do you present to them, I guess it depends on the client, right? But the balance of doing the live video like we're doing right now, which can be forgiving if we flub up and if we say and we say, I think people are more forgiving, and sometimes it's more, not only is it engaging, right? But I think people they just like the real rawness of a live video, but there is a need for a lot of what you do, which is that production aspect, the professionalism, sometimes the fun or whatever, that only someone like yourself who has an expertise in doing video can do. So when you're working with clients, how do you help them balance between those two?
It's a combination of what's their message and who they're trying to reach, their ICP, their ideal client profile. The real authentic videos of somebody just maybe giving them information on video, walking down the street, or not having a full green screen thing is effective. People want real stories, but it all comes down to what you're saying in your message, your context of your message. The content's one thing, but the context of what you're saying. How are you delivering value in that message? Do you have a call to action? Why would that person even care to listen to you, see you? So however you frame the message, and obviously you got to have good audio quality. So I really want people to hone in on the concept of the message. Mm-hmm. You want to do a full green screen. For me, I'm in a situation where I market green screen video production. So I tend to have that because it's a reflection of my work. But I also like doing just, hey, I picked up the camera and shot you a quick video message. I'm thinking about you. But I really want to get your attention. I want to deliver value and insight. So think about the framework of the messaging.
Got it.
Well, so how does somebody do that? Let's say because I do a lot of raw stuff, right? I ate a banana, and so I have a sales tip on a banana, and I just throw it out on my iPhone. But if I were to send that file to you, what could you do with it?
Well, if I'm selling bananas, I might be able to do something with it. But if I'm not, let's be real. I mean, what you could do for me? What you can know, but what you could do for me, if you pull out the phone and, hey, I'm making a video, you can send it to me, and that's one of my services. Thanks for the tee up. I can take that video and add graphics, lower thirds, and a call to action. So how do you connect with that person? So take that and add more visual elements to the video that generates value and has call to action results.
So you can add, I guess, when you say lower third,
like what we have right here, selling bananas on video, that right there, or having that scroll that's going down your screen. See, there's a visual element to it.
Right. Okay. And that goes, and so that's where you would put the call to action.
Exactly. Or at the end of the video. But I always like to lead with a call to action at the beginning, in the sense that in this video, you got to get their attention and you got to deliver value.
Well,
and
so you got to help me with that. For people that don't know, how could they structure a video to get people to listen to the beginning, to listen to the whole thing? Because half the time you're clicking, if it's nothing of interest to you at the beginning, you're kind of done. Well, how should somebody structure a video to get the best use out of it?
You got to find out who your audience is. You got to know who they are. Maybe have a thumbnail that catches their attention. And within the first 10 seconds, you got to let them know why they should be listening to you and what's the value. And you got to go into, let's just say LinkedIn. I'll go into LinkedIn and I'll look at your background. Okay, a New Jersey guy from New Jersey, Dan Jourdan. Okay, Chris worked for Sony. I don't know, pull up some elements. You got the power of this thing called the internet that allows you to get information, social listening, or I call it social watching. So you got to have talking points. Now, the whole thing, hey, we went to the same college together, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sometimes that doesn't come off as genuine, but you really got to do a little homework visually before you even engage. Because again, we all have messages, we tone them out. And again,
so you're saying you're going after an individual, you want to do work with Gino Wickman. I want to call Gino Wickman. All right. And so you're going to do a little research on Gino, and you're going to make a specific video, boom, for Gino.
That would be one service, which that's called the personal one-to-one video. I'm just trying to connect with Gino. I'm not saying a video to everybody.
That would be really effective. If I send you, I bet you I could make a video right now For
yeah,
Gino.
for like this book right here, right?
Oh,
You-
look,
yeah,
what
but,
book is
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Wait, hold
I know.
on.
What does that say? Who wrote that?
Dan, the DJ.
Yeah.
But
We've
seriously,
got-
yeah,
go
to
ahead.
personalize it, you got to think one-on-one, just like you
You know,
would when you meet.
that is really true. I get occasionally, I'll get, an email for somebody just to say, hey, I just read your book, or I just did something, I just saw a video, I really liked it. But they sent me a video. An email. If that email was an actual video, it would get 10 times the response from me.
You know what I liked about what Doug said earlier was that first 10 to 15 seconds. And I work mostly in podcasting, and that is absolutely true for that as well. You've got to hook them. You've got to, and there's too many people that, especially on live, where they click live and they're standing at the camera waiting for people to join. And it's like, you don't do that. You've got to do a little prep. You can't just go live or flip on your camera and expect people to care. But we do got some comments and questions here. I'd love to ask Doug. This is from June Klein as well. What is the biggest mistake we typically make in using video?
I would say, and it's good. Shout out to June Klein. Hey, not doing it. Procrastinating it, worrying about how, getting over yourself. Biggest mistake though would be random acts of video that don't bring any value to anybody. And that means we talked about 10 minutes ago, having your message resonate. It's not about you. It's about the viewer. It's about your clients. It's about your customers.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to know your audience. A certain style of video may work for Dan, but it may not work for Chris. But yeah, getting over yourself for video would be one. And then it's messaging.
So talking about yourself rather than talking about the solutions to your prospect or your listener, which is the same thing.
There is a time and point to talk about yourself and your services, but you've got to tee that up at the right engagement point.
So it's the same thing as in all content, I imagine, even on your website. On our website for Sales Arbiter, it's just very simple. If you're interested in building a self-functioning, highly profitable sales team for your company that the owner doesn't need to be involved, read on. And if you're not interested in that, you're not going to read on or you're not going to listen. So if you're interested in learning how to manage your finances in a way that'll last for the rest of your life, even if you're 65 years old today and are dead broke, call June Klein because she's got a great book for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing. You're just being able to
know. Of course, I made that up 100%. I made that up. Other than the fact that I know June Klein can help you out. Funny money.
June wants to know more about teeing up sales properly.
Well, who is she? Is she asking? Is she asking you or the master?
Me, not me. She's definitely not asking me.
Doug, how do you tee up sales properly?
I use the word teeing up is research, knowing what you got to uncover their problems. You got to uncover their solutions. You got to be in the mindset of the customer. So you've got to just go in there and you got to figure out what they're, the whole discovery phase of sales. You got to understand what they're looking for. At the end of the day, you got to be able to bring value and solve a problem. It's not, you use the phrase, it's not who knows you, or it's not what you know, it's who knows you. It's who knows you now. I'm going to take that to another level. So you also got to engage people in selling at the time that they're ready to buy or plant those seeds when they will buy.
That's awesome. Lisa Jones said it's all about getting attention. Let me tell you something. If that gal can't get attention, we got a problem. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, and that's exactly what you were talking about with video. Really, any video is going to get the attention. You're much more likely to get a click on a video, even to start at the right beginning. And if the beginning is, hey, Lisa, I'm so glad you're watching this. And do me a favor, watch another 10 seconds. You'll get more value than you know what to deal with. I mean, you're guaranteed for them to listen for the next 10 seconds. And anyone will give you 10 seconds if you're saying their name. So you want to get their attention exactly right. That's exactly how to go. And if they're not interested, then they won't get involved. But if you want to tee up a sale right, going back to June's question, First, find out if they have a compelling need for the solution that you're providing. And if it's not compelling enough for them to exchange, their money for your solution, then it's not the right, make another call.
But would you agree on that? And I totally get what you're saying, but to be able to plant that seed, so the next time if they are having a compelling need or ready to buy, you still tee up the relationship. Like, yes. Okay, they're not going to buy. You're not pushing them. Hey, okay. You don't want to turn them off, but things go in cycles.
Exactly, but you need to know exactly what your product or service solves for them. What are the main 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 things that your product does? And then you can make that. That kind of, if you're like most people that we deal with, you want a company that has consistent sales. You want one that the owner doesn't need to be involved in the sales, and you want to be able to increase the value of your business, that people would pay higher multiples for it. Is that pretty close to the truth? And what happened is I just got you nodding your head 4 times without talking about me at all. So the point is, you want to talk about their problems and their needs. If they don't have it right now, it's not compelling right now, great. And if 3 months they want to do it, they want to come back to you, terrific. But you're not insulting anybody by offering your services. You're just letting them know that they're. So I think,
yeah.
Well, actually, that is the question. I got a question before I'm cutting you off, and I apologize. Don't you look stupid if you go put yourself on video like that?
Yeah. Random acts of video, or just throwing out video of no purpose.
And what happened? Let's say you make a video with no purpose and you look stupid. What's the worst thing that can happen to you?
Well, it's the same. I guess with video, if it stays out there, it can continue to give the benefits of you being stupid time after again and again. But if you do it now, the same, flip that back. What if you do a presentation face to face and you look stupid? I mean, so yeah.
But I'm the same point. There's nothing to lose.
You fail fast, you fail forward, and keep it moving.
Boom. Oh, you got to write that one down. Fail fast, fail forward, and keep it moving.
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. There you go.
I mean, you gotta kind of think about getting, the gear, the layman's
Whoa. Gear, hey, why don't we give the viewers a discount code?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. So, I heard, this segues perfectly into this. And I was going to ask this earlier, but I'm glad, Dan, you interrupted me on this, because, you spoke earlier, Doug, about some of that mind junk that people go through in, preventing them from hitting that record button and actually either going live or recording themselves and really, trying to do that. The mindset of, speaking about your customer and all of those things you guys are talking about, but there's something that a lot of people can do. And I speak to clients in podcasting about this, is that the beauty is you can practice all you want and no one will ever see it but you. In the world of video, you can do it. In the world of podcasting, you could do it. And you should never go live or record a video and post it without looking at it and making it better and just practicing over and over and over and over again until I'm sure your first few videos, Doug, that you did, either you trashed them or you kept them because you can go back and look at them and say, look how far I've come, right? Those early videos probably are ridiculous. The first podcast I ever did, I was like, oh my gosh, I sound like a complete and total idiot. But, I like to go back to that and listen to that. It makes me feel better about how far I've come. And so, a lot of it is just encouraging people to just practice over and over and over again until, like with sales scripts, Dan, with all of these things, you just have to work it until it's a muscle.
It's something that's awesome about podcasts and video is you can look at your content and you can practice, you can watch it. And like you said, evaluate what you did, what works and what doesn't work. The concept of practice is good. Concept of perfect practice and evaluation. You get an opportunity to look at your video and come back 3 months later and say, yeah, I may need to improve on that. I may need to smile more. I don't know. Whatever the case is, what do you learn from that? You get an opportunity to visually see that again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like it. There's one thing I could be sure of. 10 years are going to happen, whether you're making video or not.
Right.
And 10 years from now, you're going to look back at the stuff you made today and think it's crap.
And on that,
and your hair is going to get gray, and you're going to get fat.
You know,
so
and
you got other things to look forward to.
And on that, I'm going to self-promote myself. My last LinkedIn post, I showed a video that I did 8 years ago. And the statements I said about video is the highest leverage. Go to my LinkedIn and read that. And I showed today, which was yesterday when I filmed it. I went back in time, but you see the progression. So this is kind of segue in what we just talked about. But you learn from the mistake. And I use that for social proof. I document. I was saying this stuff 6-8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I'll just put it out in layman's terms. The social proof is there. Visualize it.
You're a prophet. You're a prophet of virtual selling video. You knew back in the early 2000s, social media.
Yeah, you know, but it's the point is you've learned from a lot of people. But you document your journey, Dan. You look at your content and you build. Chris, you've done the you learn from your mistakes, fail fast, fail forward, and build on it.
Dang, I'm digging that there. All right, so did you have a book out there? What do you do? I see you always have a ton of books with you. What do you do?
I read a lot of books. I need to write a book. I've been tinkering with that idea for a while, but I'm in the reading mode right now. I've got four books in queue. Obviously, your book is coming up. I've got, you know, a couple other ones. Kenyatta Gordon, Command Your Presence, and one more is the Silver Goldfish, Loud and Clear, 10 Keys to Delivering Memorable Presentations by Stan Phelps.
Well, see, he doesn't only just read the books; he reads books, and then you do book reviews.
Exactly.
So Doug, if you could, let's do a review right now.
I have not read the whole book yet, so I'll do it justice. But I can tell you right now, basically, I think it's a lot. Dan, you can tell me more about your book. I think it's a mindset book, living in sales and being your prosperous life, right? Something like that.
Well, it's not how to sell book. There's enough of those, and there's really good ones out there. By the way, what's your favorite sales book?
My favorite sales book would probably be Response Block Selling by Victor Antonio.
Oh, really?
And because he's got about 14 books, there's a ton of books. I like Sales Truth by Mike Weinberg, Mind for Sales, High Profit Prospecting. I'm reading Virtual Selling right now by Jeb Blunt, and I think he just put that book out, read the Kindle, speaks to my language. Yeah, but there's a lot. I don't have a set favorite book. There's I take away from a lot of them, you know, and there's a lot of fluff out there too, as you know.
Yeah, I think they all stem from Jeffrey Gitomer's book, The Little Red Book of Sales.
Well, you're a
big Gitomer guy.
You're a Gitomorian.
Yeah, Gitomorian.
Yeah.
So my book is not a how to sell book. It's how to live a salesperson's life book.
So the little
I just think you want to be a better salesperson. First, be a better person, and it's a tough thing. It's easy to accomplish if you just keep on, practicing good, traditional values.
Mark Hunter, the sales hunter, has his latest book, A Mind for Sales. He always uses the phrase, he speaks at Outbound. Check out Mark Hunter's gear, information and stuff. But he's always talking about, I'm in selling to serve people, that mindset of serving. And,
and that's all it is. And the people that serve the most earn the most. That's why it's the best business in the world. I mean, you can only feel good about yourself. You can go home at night and say, I was a plus today instead of a minus, if you get into that mindset. So, Well, I appreciate it. Any final words of wisdom you got for us?
I think, to answer what June says, you just got to get your reps in. You got to practice the videos. But think about your message content, and also think about multi-channel, using video and replacing of the phone or complementing text. If you want to get a hold of somebody in a video email, make sure in the text that you say, I got a 2-minute and 17-second video to watch. Cue them up with every visual, text, video, audio element to engage them, and then make your message count.
Well, that is awesome. That's good stuff. What do you got, Chris Stone? Any magic?
I wish we could end on that. I mean, that was killer. I know, I've only known Doug now for maybe 6 months, and we became fast friends, and are together on a number of masterminds and share a lot of best practices. But I think you guys were talking about being a better person or being better people, and Doug certainly is one of those. Doug, I appreciate you joining us, and fantastic. And for those of you who are watching, make sure you just go to DougLehman.com, and there's a lot of links here in the show notes if you want to connect with him, even just personally, because I know you'll definitely benefit from that as well. So Dan, do you want to sign us off?
Yeah, well, listen, I want to thank everybody, all you out there for watching, and the people that will future watching. Just remember, today is Wednesday, but you might see this on any other day or any night. And here's the thing. If you wake up this morning, you got a chance to make this a better day. Listen, I always tell people I work harder on Mondays and Fridays and when it rains. And that's because nobody else works on Mondays and Fridays and when it rains. Those are the days you have no competition. But here with this issue that we're going on today, with all this virus stuff going on, hell, nobody's working anytime. So what I want you to do today is remember, you got a chance today to give 100% for the next, 8 hours or whatever. You do that, and there's no competition in your life. You will be better tomorrow than you were today, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, because you're in the best business in the world, which is sales. So remember, you're the best. I'm the Deej. Just go get them today.